Welcome back to Business Next. I'm going to wrap up a terrific conversation I've been having with Mid-Michigan-based keynote speaker and trainer Paul Artale. Paul, you do a lot of training on presentation skills. Certainly for a small employer, that's a key skill to have if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. Why do you think, and what do you say to small business owners about why it's valuable to put time and effort into polishing their presentation abilities?
Well, we know people who have fantastic communication skills generally do better in the workplace, whether they're an employee at a company or a business owner. I think as a small business owner, what you have to consider is that you're always selling your business, right? You're always talking to someone, you're always looking for partners, you're always trying to communicate some message. And so the more effectively you can get a message across, then the more successful you're going to be. You know, it's going to lead to you sort of getting what you want, growing your business, getting the results that you desire.
And when you do presentation skills, do you focus on public speaking, on elevator pitches? What do you think is the most important thing to begin with?
I focus a lot more on the public speaking, on the elements of a good speech, on getting our message across, and particularly storytelling, using stories effectively to make sure to get our points across, because we're a data-driven society, and there's no doubt about that. And when you're giving more of a business pitch, it's definitely there's benefits to just getting to the points and the data and whatever else. But we're human beings, and we've been telling stories ever since we've been in existence. And so, to some degree, if I can teach people to incorporate stories and make presentations and pitches a little bit more personal, and sort of play to some of the human experience, I think that's going to be more effective than just giving the cold hard facts all the time.
Many people say that one of the things that they're most fearful of is public speaking. What are some techniques that you impart to the folks you teach on how to overcome the butterflies involved with getting up in front of a group and speaking?
Butterflies to me are good. I like butterflies. I still get butterflies every time I speak. So when people get them or they get a little nervous, I tell them that's okay. Use it. You want the nerves. You want to use that energy and harness it. The key is you don't want it to burn you. And so the magic cure for public speaking, and there is one, but it's not a pleasant piece of medicine that I give out, is that you have to speak more. You have to get practice at speaking. You have to get out in front of more audiences and just get used to being in front of them, learning, growing. And once you do that enough, you'll be confident enough that public speaking, even though you might get nervous, is something you don't dread doing. It'll lead to you not flubbing as much in front of crowds, being a little bit more comfortable, being a little bit more polished. And there's a lot of different venues you can do to get the experience.
One of my favorite phrases that I've heard about controlling nervousness in public speaking is that you can never eliminate the butterflies, but the key thing is to try to get them to all fly in formation.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the way I like it. I remember Rocky V wasn't the most great. It wasn't the most fantastic of the Rocky series, but there's a scene where Sylvester Stallone's talking to Tommy Gunn, I think is the character's name. He's talking about fear, and he said, your best friend is a guy named Frankie Fear, because fear keeps you sharp. If fear keeps you ready to go, and I think that's as true for public speaking as it is, I guess, boxing.
If you're a public speaker, or rather an entrepreneur who wants to become better at public speaking, I do really like your suggestion that there's no substitute for getting out there and really finding opportunities and practicing your skills as much as possible. So where are some places that you could go to maybe have some practice, get that exposure and ability to fine-tune your public speaking abilities?
There are a few different places that you can practice depending on what you want to do. So if you just want to overcome the nerves and you want an audience, then I think Toastmasters is probably the best place for you to go. Toastmasters.org is the website. You can find a club in your area, but that guarantees you an audience every week where you can get up in front of an audience and speak on your business or just whatever you want, just to get the nerves out of the way. If you're a little bit more polished, or you want to be more focused on building your business when you speak, Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, a lot of service organizations, a lot of community organizations are always looking for lunchtime and evening speakers.
Paul, how can our listeners find out more about the presentation skill work and work balance training that you provide?
For presentation skills, you can go to www.artale.com unleashyourmessage.net. Unleash Your Message is 3 words. .net. I have a separate site just for my public speaking training. You can go there and find out about some of my programs and sign up for. I do a free weekly e-newsletter. Every week I give an audio lesson. I do a video based on people asking me questions, and I answer the questions on video and upload that to my YouTube channel. And I just provide public speaking resources for that I come across my desk. So I send those out. So that's for that. If you're interested in work-life balance or me giving a keynote speech, you can go to www.paulartale.com.
Paul Artale, thanks so much for joining us again today on Business Next.
Thanks, Mike. It's always a pleasure.
You're listening to Business Next, a part of the Michigan Business Network.